All right, jumping into another question we get in our inbox sometimes. This one actually can be pretty frightening, right? Somebody writes in and says, hey, my website's been hacked. If I transfer it over, can you clean it up? Where do I get a backup? Very kind of frantic messages we receive because, well, it's stressful, right? Your site's been hacked and being controlled by somebody else, and you don't know how to fix it. And that's obviously in a position of not of total control over your own assets. So, yeah, one thing we always kind of say is, hey, is your website backed up? And how many backups do you have? How far does it go back, right? I always recommend that you have daily backups for at least 7 to 14 days. And then you have weekly backups for a number of weeks, and then hopefully monthly backups, right? One of the things we actually even do is when somebody even cancels with us, we keep backups for them for 6 months, which is unheard of because I have found people have come back to me because their new provider doesn't provide backups as frequently as we have. So then we provide them with a list of, or with a backup. We had a client that, had 50 sites with us or so that left. Their new provider locked them out of the server. They came back and we had a backup of all those sites and we're able to get them right back up and running. So it's always important to keep a backup. I understand it can be kind of time consuming to do something like this manually. That's why there's a number of plugins that can really help with that. You can have a plugin like Jetpack or Blog Vault, or, there's a ton of other backup plugins that will give you a backup, and then you can just make sure you grab it, every so often, every week, every month, so that you have kind of a recent version, so that if it ever does get hacked or you get locked out of your site, that you can get it back. So once you've cleaned it, it's important to remove themes, old themes that are on there, the 2020, 2019, depending on how old your site is, those default themes. Also plugins you're not using, you want to make sure you get rid of those. Those are all like gateways for people to hack into and access your site, and then obviously insert malware or hack it, right? So we want to keep all your plugins, core, theme, plugins all up to date, so that's not an ability to access. Also, I understand everybody, uses the same password in a lot of different spots. It's really not the best, practice. We have seen a lot of times admin passwords get hacked, and that's where the door becomes open and people can go in and do things inside the site. That's usually commonly the most frequent, is that a user's password has been hacked. So keeping that all up to date is very, very important. Yeah, so again, updating passwords for your admin users, definitely. Keeping the core, theme, plugin all up to date. Those things are going to really keep your site from having a lot of malware, and then, running some sort of malware check daily, some scanners on the site so that you can control and get alerted immediately if it happens, instead of going, 5, 7 days, and then all of a sudden you find out your site's been hacked. But having those malware checks daily is very, very important. So check back in. We're going to answer some more questions like this. Let me know if you have a question, send it on in, and we'll take care of it. All right, cool.